I wouldn't give a fuck. Fuck that bitch. Hey, nigga. One thing you always teach a young man. One time is fine with me. Trust me.
We know, nigga. This is exactly why you're not married, so you can make these mistakes.
One
Be
time is
married right
fine with
now.
me. Yeah, man. I
We
got a
can.
wedding license and everything. I'll be married before anybody else on this podcast.
I mean, that's the sad part. You're closer than
Man,
anybody else on the podcast.
I mean, I'd rather be far away and have it done. I'd rather do it once. I'll just put it that way.
I mean, again, like I
Yeah, I
said,
think everybody would rather do
you
it
come
once, but
along.
hey,
You niggas can come
you got a
along and
long
tell
life.
me. You niggas can come along
Everybody
and
got a
tell me.
life. The plan is for everybody to do it once, playing, but things change.
And things change, bro, and I promise you, I will live through your stories.
Sure. Sure.
I will live. I will live through your stories, niggas. You did
Sure.
what? And then what you do after that? What you do after
I
that?
wouldn't. Married men should shut the fuck up. You married, nigga. Don't talk about anything. You do your dirt
Mm.
alone and don't involve me.
Hey man, I be telling niggas and not telling themselves, and there be so many niggas that just can't shut the fuck up. It's like, why are you telling niggas this?
It kind of depends on the nigga. Some niggas ain't gonna say shit, but most niggas, it just depends on what it is. If I nigga tell me, I'm like, bro, you getting too deep in this, you might want to back up.
True.
Some niggas you ain't got to tell that though, because they never gonna get too deep. It's just some head,
I
nigga,
mean,
whatever.
niggas be falling in love with these hoes, and it's like, bro, what are you doing?
That's
Oh,
all I
well,
was
please.
saying, bro.
You know, she got all these other things. Nah, nigga, you need to just date a woman for an extended
For
period of
what,
time.
bro? Spending no extra money on some shit I know ain't gonna fucking work.
How do you know it's not gonna work if you never give it a
Because she's
chance?
a dumb bitch.
How do you know she's a
I
dumb
think
bitch?
because I actually talk to the women. I pick at their brains, and sometimes it don't be fucking shit anyway.
Hey. I'm not the writer, nigga. I understand what it's like to talk to women and actually get them to reveal themselves. Don't try to,
I just think women interests are inherently
I
different
mean,
than men.
I think
No,
there's
no,
some freedom
but
to
I'm
that.
not looking for a woman with the same interest. I'm looking for a woman that's got something actually going on.
No, I'm talking about like what, like even they can have something going on up there, but they can be dumb. That's not what they think about. They just like I was talking to Sydney. I was just like they don't think like us. 'Cause they're different, but I don't know what level of intelligence you expect from a woman. I don't know. Some of them have that similar to male intelligence, but I don't think it's the same. I know women
It's I
who are
agree.
smart
And
as
it never
hell,
will be.
but you talk to them, they're just fucking dingbats, but they're not dumb. Um, I don't know how to explain it.
Well, you could just
So
say that they're not dumb and just leave it at that.
I know,
They're
but they're
not dumb,
dingy.
but they haven't. Well, no, it's just they're not logical. Like I think that's a better explanation. Like
It's not even
oftentimes,
that they're not logical. It's just like I don't know, bro.
Depends on how they were raised, man.
I'm saying to dive into it. So answer it more thoroughly. Like what is it that the woman's doing that just makes you go like you kind of stupid?
women
For me
are
personally,
very put like this. I think you could talk to a woman; she's never questioned her political ideals at all. Just the stuff that she likes and she agrees with, and that's not a man will typically go deeper than that. Like, yeah, I like some of this stuff, but some of this stuff is food gold, and they're just using it. Like when it comes to like I watch some political stuff, and they're like, "Well, abortion is going to win everything." I'm just like, "How is abortion your number one issue?" And you're like 50. Like, what do you give a fuck for?
Well, remember
Like,
it's the thing we talked about much earlier in this podcast that went on for too long. It's a
will be
every
started.
girl's hot. It's every girl's hot. I mean, I was going to start earlier when there was people, but I was like, fuck it, let's just roll this shit over into being a
Oh shit! I
weird
know you
patron.
started. I had other stuff to say. Oh, okay. All right.
No. I was gonna just roll. I was gonna roll everything into next week because I mean it's just the three of us, and I mean our podcasts are pretty dope. But I think that you want more than just three voices. So I was just gonna
okay,
roll.
a
This is just a weird
40-year-old woman. What do you give a? Why would abortion be at the top of your issues? You should be wanting to have your children.
because women because the whole math, nigga. We talked about this because women vote as a block. Every woman thinks
Yeah,
that she's gonna be hot and she's gonna be good, and so the hot women are saying that. All right, let me backtrack several steps. Okay, so women really do know if they're hot or not, but the women who are not hot, I'm not saying they're ugly. Let's say girls who are like a 4, 5, and 6. The girls who are not hot, they understand and they realize that if they say every woman's hot, then that means that every woman gets to live in this whole gray area. And so, it's technically good for them because they don't have to really do anything. They don't have to change whatever. Abortion is an issue that's like that. A lot of women, if you talk to them in private, they don't really fuck with abortion. But because other women do, and a lot of those women are more attracted to them, they have to say that they're on the same thing because otherwise you're outside of the group because women punish nonconformity. Men reward that. If you like, the whole reason I fought you niggas earlier in the podcast is because you need to hear other viewpoints, even if you disagree with them. And that's why you listen sometimes to Judah, even when you don't believe what Judah says, Reed. But you need to have other opinions. You don't want to be in an echo chamber. Women live in the echo chamber. They want to all have the exact same talking point that everyone had. That's why they hated Kevin Samuels. That's why they was all fuck Jonathan Majors until the narrative changed. And they're all like, oh my God, we need to defend Jonathan Majors. Women live in echo chambers. They want to have the same opinion because, again, that's what some woman decided was the thing that they're going to do.
I disagree with just the back end of that.
Okay, go ahead. State your disagreement, state your claim.
You're saying that women want to all agree with each other. Women don't want to be left out. It's not that they want to agree with each other. It's just that the consequences for not agreeing are so heinous for them socially, and that's how they value themselves socially.
Okay. I mean, I agree with that. I think then that maybe I was saying it in a way that maybe didn't hit that part. But yes, that's the central part is that the consequences for deciding that you're going to go against the hive mind far outweigh anything else. And plus, the one part that I do think like women agree is because women want to feel like everybody's heard. So oftentimes that means conformity. That way, all right, well, we heard out Sarah and she has a few points. Let's incorporate them in a way that doesn't change the group dynamic, but we're not going to say that part.
Well, I think that's the nurturing side of women, like the
It could be
actual nurturing. Some of them want, everybody to have their way.
Yeah, I mean,
but
it's not necessarily a bad thing. But yeah, we can't all agree with everything.
It takes both.
It takes two to make a thing go right. It takes two to make it out of something.
Hit us with that intro, Riker.
I don't know. I just feel like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's another episode of Everyday Black Man Podcast, a podcast with authentic black man thoughts. I'm Riker. You have Reed and Sham. The other niggas just had other things they had to do. Follow us on Twitter, EVYD Black Men. And our Patreon is EBMP. It's like really great. They have all kinds of exclusive episodes up there. Subscribe. It's only $3 or $5 a month, and it helps support the podcast. Support your boys. Our website, www.everydayblackmen.com, and fuck with our Facebook, Everyday Black Men. But we had some topics we want to talk to y'all for, a little bit of time, not too long. So let's go into it. Samsung. Do you fuck with the new Samsung phone? Do you not? Do you think it's going to really allow you to translate Japanese or Spanish into English in real time?
I mean, can I do that with Google already?
Yeah, but that's what they're doing.
Oh, is there an app for it now on Samsung?
No, it's just a big feature that they made in their Facebook thing, in their ad was that you could translate Spanish into English while on the phone with somebody. Like they had a huge push for it. It was crazy. Like I only found out about it because my brother-in-law, he was like, "Oh, this is going to be awesome." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah, why the fuck? Oh, Passport Boys, boy, they'll love that shit.
I mean, yeah, but it'd have to work like really well. Because remember, this is phone calls. This isn't, anything else. This is phone calls.
These niggas desperate already, bro.
Fair.
I mean, fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean, not desperate, but
No, nigga, call spade spade. Let's not lie to these niggas. A lot of these niggas are desperate. That's kind of the only reason. The only thing
it might be a misshapen club, bro.
I mean, there a lot of these niggas really are desperate. Like they act like, oh, I'm gonna get all these bitches, and then when they don't get all these bitches, it's like, oh, women that they don't value, and it's like, I mean, nah, bro, you're just kind of pathetic. Like there's a certain level of shit that you need to be able to have, and one of those levels is, are you somebody that can have a normal conversation with people? Like as long as you can have a normal conversation with people, most people be fine. But some of y'all can't have a normal conversation with people, and that's a problem.
I feel like you're talking about somebody specifically.
I mean, I'm not saying no names, but probably.
I think there's an issue, or we can all recognize there's an issue when women are entitled, but it's disgusting when men display it.
I mean, I don't think these guys are entitled. I just think that they don't.
I do.
They don't represent themselves well.
They feel like they're entitled to pussy, and then you ask them why. It's like,
okay, all right. So he went further than I did. Reed over here trying to talk about me. Sham like these niggas is entitled, and I don't like it.
They are. I'm, it's not that I don't like it, but to be fair, what I'm saying is like, if you see a man doing things like a woman does, we never view it in a positive light.
True.
If you see a man displaying the negative traits of a woman who's gone, not necessarily off the deep end, but is being childish, then you would call that woman out, or at least in your head, you're like, here she goes again. When one of your homeboys is doing it, or a friend of yours is doing it, or just a man in general, you don't give him the same credence you would a woman because you're looking at another man and we hold each other responsible. That's how we develop standards, by holding people accountable. When we remove that standard, which is technically what some women do by, hand holding, we're not helping them. We're only hurting them.
Third stage feminism.
Yeah, just placating. We're hurting ourselves, trying to protect
True.
a single person's feelings. Don't get me wrong; it has its time and place, but there has to be a limit to everything.
There's a limit to your love. Dun 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 dun.
I think I was talking with Reed about that one day. He was like, "Do you think they're aware sometimes?" I was like, "Or I wonder why." And I'm like, "It's because there's no sense of duty." When it in my head, and I came up with this bullshit on my own when I wanted to get high, but it was like I shouldn't smoke because I'm sick. Uh, I wrote it down, and I was like, as far as like a man and a man should have a sense of duty. A woman should have a sense of respect. The man should have a duty to his wife. The woman should respect her husband. Is the woman or man
Hard
worthy
to
of
argue
that?
with.
And then can you, if they are, then there should be some compromise in some places. But then you look at the things around that. You have these things that stop it, like impatience or self-importance or convenience, curiosity, and they break relationships or stop them from ever happening, or developing meaningful, just meaning. That's my soapbox. Anyway, I hope Google starts making like potato chips. I feel like they had that shit down, like digital potato chips.
Maybe you should make that a segment on the website. Digital potato chips, and like every week, you just get one small little potato chip of a nugget of something.
They got to pay for that. That's Patreon only.
Well, then put it up on Patreon.
Oh no, I'm
We
talking about
need
the
more of
digital
that kind of
potato
stuff.
chip. We can move forward with that idea.
All right. Hey, I fucks with it. I think that's a good idea. Let me see. What do I want to get off the docket that we can do? Because I don't want to go too long in the tooth, just given the time it is in real life. But I do want to knock out at least a couple of the things that were on the list for today, and then move the rest of that shit. All right. So this is a simple one. Cat Williams, in his interview with Shannon Sharp, that everyone's seen by now, said that every woman is a one of one. Do you agree?
Yeah,
Yes.
every woman is who they are.
Do you think that extends to every person?
To a certain extent, yes, or at least it should. But I think that um, every woman is woman one is just another way of saying you get what you get, and if you try and make it more than one, then you're lying to yourself. And that kind of goes back to like either over or undervaluing yourself, or under or overvaluing certain traits. You decide what your one is, and then you find the woman who fits that one to make that whole.
Okay. No, I fuss with that. I fuss with that. I agree with most of it. I think every woman is one of one. So close to what you're saying right there, as far as like what that one is a different thing. So kind of similar also to Tyler Perry's "Why Did I Get Married?" Because that one
Tyler Perry
was
had a movie.
yeah. So Tyler Perry had "Why Did I Get Married?" It's basically these like four couples that are all having different marital problems, but like the one who's having the least marital problem is his couple with him and a woman. And, Tyler Perry, as Cat Williams said, can't play no man. So it's it's hilarious when come to find out that his wife was actually cheating on him emotionally with a coworker of hers. But he thought, oh no, I'm good, like I'm doing everything fine. It's like, no, actually, your wife is cheating on you. And so like they have to come to that reconciliation and working on their um relationship and that kind of stuff. But I think the whole 80-20 out of that whole movie is something that is an important concept that we kind of lost. Like I remember people talking a lot about it. Like you're only gonna get at max 80%, and that's the other thing is people feel like you automatically by default get 80% out of each person. That's not true. I'm saying that the most you can hope for to get out of somebody is 80%. So you got to figure out what's that, as you were saying, one of one thing that you want, and does this person